It's your turn to do the intro now.
Yeah.
No.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. 1 month in Saranda. Wow, it's already over. It went by so fast. And to be honest, 3 months in Albania this time just went by like it felt like we just blinked once and it was over.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is our last week, the last few days in Saranda. So we thought we were going to give you a little bit of an impression of what we had of Saranda, kind of our last final thoughts, and if Saranda is actually worth the hype.
Yeah, so as Naomi just said, 30 days in Saranda, and it was insanely quick. It couldn't have gone by any quicker, to be honest. We rented an Airbnb. We're currently in an Airbnb now, and it's our last few days here, and it's in the center of Saranda. It's an incredible location, and luckily we saved a lot of money because it's obviously not tourist season right now. So that's an interesting point for us kind of to start on. Obviously, everybody, you have the option when you come to Albania and anywhere really to book an Airbnb or a hotel. And I suppose one of the first points that we would touch upon in our final thoughts of Saranda is keep in mind the accommodation that you're going to book and make sure that it caters for you and what you're planning on doing. Like, for example, if you're traveling on a budget. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so we obviously are traveling on a budget still, so we're still kind of trying to travel as low cost as possible. And that's why we are traveling predominantly off season. Last year we were in Albania in season, and it was okay because we didn't go to the main areas such as Saranda and Ksamil, so it was not crazy expensive. But looking at this Airbnb, for example, right now in April, we stayed here for a month, so a little bit of March, a little bit of April, we paid €250.
Yeah, 250 euros, so like 280 US, which is nothing.
Yeah, and the exact same apartment. So this apartment here goes for what, like
up to 1800.
1800 in August or something like that if you wanted to stay here for a month. So in case you are a budget traveler as well, or you're trying to see places but not spend your retirement fund to go, maybe look at Saranda for off season. So maybe I would say maybe in May or maybe in September, because this leads us to the second point. If we would come here again, I think we wouldn't come again in March/April. I mean, it was still nice, the weather was great, but obviously the ocean or the sea is very, very cold at the moment. You cannot really go swim, you can't really lie on the beach. So that's the one thing that I think we would have done differently, is we would have come here in May/September so that you can enjoy the sea a little bit more.
Yeah, and the prices as well in September, especially maybe September, might be the best option because you've had the entire summer season for the sea to heat up, and it gives you the perfect chance to swim. Plus the prices in September, what I've noticed anyways, I spend a lot of time doing research on accommodations on Airbnb. The prices do drop significantly because people go back to work in September, and typically the holiday season, as you know, is May to August, till the end of August. And then once it hits into September, you start benefiting from these low cost apartments again. And the weather is still perfect. The weather in Saranda in September, we're right next to Greece here, so you're still going to be getting like mid to high 20s, and the sea would just be absolutely perfect temperature for you to go with your family or friends or partner or whatever and go for a nice swim and spend the day at the beach, and you probably won't be hassled too much by tourists. So that's definitely an important thing to think about, and it's a huge part of this video, I suppose, because it is something that's stuck in our mind. The time you come to Saranda, and especially the south of Albania in general, matters a lot. Because the weather is obviously going to impact it, the level of tourism is going to impact it, and the cost of accommodations change drastically.
not only the cost of accommodation, but also the cost of daily living is a little bit different here from what we've noticed. So if you are on a budget, make sure to book an accommodation that maybe has a kitchen in it. Because if you go to a restaurant here, we've noticed it is more expensive than, for example, Tirana or maybe even the north of Albania. Well, the north of Albania was the cheapest anyway, I think.
By far.
By far. So if you do come here, make sure that you have a kitchen if you don't want to spend all of your money in restaurants. We've been to a few restaurants and they are all really, really nice and insane, like really amazing. But they're more on the expensive side, and the same goes for coffee. I think it's a bit like if you're going out for a coffee every single day, it will be a little bit more expensive than in other areas of Albania.
Yeah, that's a really valid point, and something that I would touch on as well is the cost of living. If you can, try and get yourself a kitchen so you can cook your own meals. There is plenty of local supermarkets all over Saranda. Our personal favorite supermarket here in Saranda is called Alpha, ALFA, and it's located directly in the center here of Saranda.
It's a Greek supermarket.
It's a Greek, yeah. It's
not an Albanian supermarket.
It is a Greek supermarket, but the cost for what you get is amazing. The quality of food is incredible, and if you do have a kitchen, we would highly recommend you guys to head there and do your shopping if you can. If you're here just for a week and you want to spend as much money as you can and just enjoy yourself, obviously go and enjoy the restaurants. But for us, we've been traveling now full time for a year straight now. So we are on a budget and we're sticking to that budget, and we're trying to make it everything kind of stretch. And what has worked for us is traveling mostly in the off season to beautiful places like this, getting a nice place with a kitchen and cooking our own meals has worked out incredibly well. Like, we've managed to keep the daily cost of living for us right now, it's 2,000 lek per day, which works out to roughly around 16 to 17 euro a day, or $20 a day. So that's incredibly cheap when you think that we are having, 2 big meals a day and we're doing everything that we want to do.
The one thing that I think is super interesting about Saranda as well is that it is so close to the Greek border, and I never saw that really anywhere else. When you go to the supermarkets here, you see so many Greek products. So like, even if you go to a normal supermarket, they might have Greek chicken or a Greek veal or whatever it might be. Orange juice, everything is like with Greek letters. So I think that's super interesting. Obviously, we love Albanian culture and we love Albania, but we've never seen something like that.
Yeah, it almost feels it feels like you're in Greece sometimes, because you go out walking and even some of the stores and stuff will have signs that are in Greek. The street signs sometimes are in Greek. So you're just kind of walking around and you're just like, oh, like, where am I? Is this Albania or Greece or what? And the culture as well changes significantly the further south you go in Albania. That's something that I would touch on as well. We came here from Shkodra, which is like pretty much the furthest north in Albania, and now we're in the very, very south, and the culture has just drastically changed. You get much more of a Southern European vibe. I know all of Albania is technically Southern Europe, but when you come down here to Saranda from somewhere like Shkodra, it really, really just feels like you're in real Mediterranean Southern Europe. Everybody is super friendly. I had a woman just yesterday, an elderly woman that is living just across from us, and she came out onto her balcony, signaled over to me that she wanted to give us something, and then she dropped this bag of dry figs and fruit off of her balcony.
How crazy is this?
So, yeah, really insane.
We
big
got this
bag of hazelnuts as well.
and hazelnuts.
And yeah, the culture here and the people are so warm, so friendly. Because you're in as well this Southern European kind of atmosphere, people are just very laid back and they're used to their way of living, and it really rubs off on us because we've noticed since we've come here and since the weather has gotten a little bit nicer as well, we're getting a lot more laid back. Stress is, we're much less stressed, we're much more just enjoying our time. Not that we didn't enjoy our time in Shkodra. Shkodra was amazing. It's just that we went there when it was really cold and really rainy, and we didn't get to see as much as we wanted to. Like, we wanted to go to Tet and the Albanian Alps, but it was literally locked off because of snow. So maybe next time when we go back to the north of Albania, we'll be able to see there. But the difference, guys, between north and south of Albania is drastic. So expect that even if you're coming from Tirana to here. Tirana, big city vibe, everybody's rushing around, everybody's, doing stuff. Here, everybody is laid back on a balcony, throwing figs at each other.
Throwing figs at each other. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. When you do come here at the end, like mid-March/April, the weather is very, very nice. So we do have days where we have like 20 to 25 degrees and very, very sunny. But sometimes you have days like today, for example. Yesterday it was 23 degrees, and I think today it's like 12 degrees, and it's raining outside and it's very, very windy. So if you do ever plan on coming to Saranda, maybe don't choose the early spring. Maybe go to the late spring or early summer, or very late summer.
Yeah, and I suppose the last thing that we'll touch on, guys, this is going to be a relatively short video just because we want to get this information out to you, and it's Sunday, and I know everybody is waiting for the Sunday video. If you are have the notifications turned on, if you haven't already, make sure to click them just so you get notified when our new videos come out. We release a video every Thursday and every Sunday, so just so you guys know. But the last part that we're going to touch on this video anyways, is Saranda even worth visiting?
Is it worth the hype?
Is it worth what everybody has, told us? We've been told that it's, the go-to place in Albania. Saranda, Samil, Butrint. We did a video there on Thursday about Samil and Butrint. Samil and Butrint are incredible, jaw-dropping places. Really, really stunning. We had the time of our life there with Brock from Edges of Earth. It was a really fun video to shoot. And Saranda is exactly the same. It's just amazing. Yes, it is built for tourists, and you can tell because everybody that's around that operates taxis and tours and boat tours and everything else, you can tell that they're just waiting for tourists to show their face so they can, start advertising their services again. But even though it's touristy, I 100% think that Saranda is worth visiting, just simply for the fact that it is so much cheaper than the majority of Mediterranean destinations. If you look at places like Corfu, Italy, for example, places like Sicily, Sardinia,
all
south
of the
of
Croatian
Italy,
islands as well.
Yeah, all of Croatia, Spain, Portugal, Ibiza, all of these places, they're so much more expensive, and you get pretty much the same atmosphere. You get a lot of tourists and you get good weather. So if you're going to get a lot of tourists and good weather and nice beaches, and that's what you are wanting, I would say pick Saranda over anywhere else in the south of Europe, and you will not be disappointed, and you'll spend a hell of a lot less money as well.
The one positive thing as well with this being more of a touristy type of place is it's a lot easier to get around. So like I think we touched upon this topic a few times. Usually if you only speak English and no Italian or maybe no German in Albania, it might get difficult in some areas, but here in Saranda it's English all the way. So everybody, I don't think we had any issues. Everybody understands when we're speaking English, unless you're obviously speaking to the local grandma on the balcony over there that threw the figs. She doesn't speak English or Italian, to be honest. But usually you get around a lot easier if English is your first and only language, which I think is a very big plus.
Yeah, and there's bars and cafes and restaurants everywhere. All of them have English menus. All of them cater for Western culture, like Americans, Canadians. You do see a lot of them here already. You hear, just as you're walking around Saranda, like American accents, Canadian accents, British people are here. There's a lot of expats here. The expat community in Saranda is very strong. We were recently invited to a party that we couldn't go to because we're working all the time. But yeah, the expat community here is amazing. They're so strong, and they have this cafe, as we mentioned before in one of our other videos, called The Place. So if you are here in Saranda, I would recommend go grab a coffee at The Place. If you need someone to talk to and you want to relate to in English and connect with other expats, I would head straight there as soon as you get here, and you will have yourself a nice little friendship circle here in Saranda.
Apparently they have avocado toasts in The Place as well. I don't think I have seen avocado toasts anywhere else in Albania. We didn't go to The Place yet, to be honest, and we didn't try the avocado toast yet, but I'm sure we will do that tomorrow or something.
Yeah, we need to go. We have 3 more days here in Saranda, so we are gonna go and check everything that we haven't checked out if the weather gets better, because right now it's like a hurricane outside. But if the weather gets better before we go, we're gonna check everything out, and we will be leaving our thoughts as well, probably here in the comment section of this video, because this will be our final Saranda video. And then we're heading back towards Tirana, probably both of our favorite city in all of Europe at this point. It's such an underrated city, but yeah, that's for a whole different video, guys. That will be our Thursday video. So if you, as I just said there a second ago, hit the red subscribe button and turn on the notifications. 2 videos a week going forward. We have it up in our banner that runs across our channel. But yeah, guys, that's our final thoughts on Saranda.
I'm so sad to leave Saranda.
Yeah, it sucks that we're leaving. Was the quickest month ever. Yeah, Naomi said that she would literally buy an apartment and live here, and to be honest, I would as well. I think it would actually be an incredibly strong investment if you were to have that much liquidity that you can buy an apartment. Look at Saranda, look at the cost of apartments around here. They're not that bad. And I would say in 10 years' time, the apartment that you buy will probably be worth 5 times more than what you spent. So keep that in mind, guys. But yeah, my name is Luke.
My name is Naomi.
We're Nalu Adventures. That was our final thoughts on Saranda. We'll see you guys in the next adventure.
Thanks for watching.
Ciao, ciao.